Since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last summer, returning the battle for the sanctity of life back to the citizens and their elected representatives, churches and pregnancy centers have felt the call to step up their efforts. Well, last week, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt backed up their efforts in his state by launching a comprehensive pregnancy resource website to provide essential support and information to expectant mothers, parents, and families. Join me now to discuss this is Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. Governor, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks so much. It's such an honor to be with you guys. Thank you.
By the way, looking forward to having you back at the Pray Vote Stand Summit, September 15th through the 17th in Washington. I tell you what, last year you were so encouraging, my wife wanted to move to Oklahoma.
Well, tell her to come on. You know, Oklahoma, we're top 10 right now, and people moving to the great state, and they're moving here because of our pro-business, pro-freedom policies, traditional family values, all the things that we stand for, and I know you stand for as well. So,
Governor, I'm an Oklahoma missionary. I left Oklahoma to take those conservative values down south to Louisiana and elsewhere. So that's where I got my pro-family values came from my upbringing in Oklahoma. But you guys are leading. You're really leading the charge in putting, not just saying, look, we're pro-life, but you're actually putting action to it. Tell us about this latest effort by the state to help women and families find help.
Yeah. Well, first off, we want to be the most pro-life, pro-family state in the country. So we launched this website called oklahoma.gov/life. And basically it's for pregnancy, for either unplanned or planned pregnancies, what programs that we have available to assist throughout the pregnancy. We expanded postpartum benefits for up to a year, but parenting, access to parenting classes, childcare options, caring for newborns. We're making it really, really easy for adoption. And then, financial assistance. So wherever you might find yourself, we want to wrap those services around you. We're also inviting the nonprofits, the churches into this conversation, because we understand that you can't pass a law in Oklahoma City that solves a lot of these problems. We need neighbors walking with neighbors, and we're trying to facilitate that as a state government and just bring people together and let them know there's a lot of options out there if you find yourself in maybe a unplanned pregnancy, or even a planned pregnancy, but you just might need some extra resources and help.
So this is a collaborative effort. You're leading the way, providing the platform, but you're inviting partners that are non-government organizations that do this day in and day out.
That's exactly right. I believe that I'm a son of a pastor, and I understand that God puts certain desires and abilities and wants on people's hearts. And so there's so many, organizations out there that want to help. And whether they grew up in an adoptive home or a foster care system, and they want to reach out and kind of share their story and wrap around someone that might be at a point in their life that they're struggling and they may not know that there's hope. And we want to create those pathways for everyone to know that there's a great plan and a purpose that God has for every single individual. And so the more that we can share that, we think that the better off they're going to be, and know that there's people out there that want to help them and support them.
I think this is phenomenal. I absolutely do. It's actually an idea we kind of floated in the Trump administration to take the resources of the Department of Health and Human Services that promotes everything we're against and use that as a place where people could come, a one-stop shop, if you will, where they could find the resources that are available to help them, both government and non-government. So you're doing it right there in the state of Oklahoma. Have you had any pushback on this?
Not really. The reception has been fantastic. We're getting interest, obviously, from all over Oklahoma, but the nation as well. And you'll always have a few of the naysayers. I think it's important for Americans to understand the difference between the way we see the world and the way that, Governor Gavin Newsom and some of these folks in California. It's just disgusting. They're setting up websites and billboards in my state, basically inviting people to their state to get an abortion. And so we just approach the world a lot different, and we want to love those mothers, and we want to love those kids, and we want to help bring those services and let people know that there's hope and there's other options out there if you do find yourself in an unplanned pregnancy.
All right, Governor Stitt, two questions. How can people find out more if they want resources, they want to explore what might be available to them? And then second, how can people who want to help and be a part of this great resource connect with you in your office?
Yeah, well, oklahoma.gov/life would be the resources they could start. And I'm not sure if they can actually, some of these churches can sign up there, but I also have beaneighbor.org, where I invite churches to sign up, where we can let them know how to partner with the state to provide some of these counseling, these one-on-one sessions with folks. And we do this in all across state government. But one example is like when you age out of foster care between 16 to 18, we want the churches to wrap around those folks to get them into a good situation. Because man, I've got 6 children, and as an 18-year-old, I can't imagine kind of being dropped out of the system or being on my own at 18. And we need people walking beside these young people, helping them bridge that transition, that critical part of life, to get an education or to get into a trade school or to make that next step into adulthood. So beaneighbor.org is another one of our websites that some of these nonprofits and stuff can sign up for as well.
That's phenomenal. 10 seconds, Governor. How can our listeners and viewers be praying for you?
You know, for me, it's just always to have a deeper relationship with the Lord. So if they would just continue to pray that for me and my family, and the protection for my family would be great. And because it all starts, the relationship we have with the Lord, the more awe we have in God, then you know, the better off we are.
Well, I promise you we will do that, and we'll encourage our viewers to do the same. Governor, looking forward to seeing you in September.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you guys.